Hello, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Time Killers podcast. I am your host, Callum Titley, and this podcast is essentially just a group of mates who met at university, talking about stories, experiences that we all had, how we met, for example, different nights out, and all of the absolute bullshit that we got up to at university. The true goal of this podcast really is to kill time, hence the name. If you're bored sitting on your own one day and you need something to do or to listen to, we are the answer. So, as I said, my name is Callum. Today I have two of my former flatmates with me. Jay, would you like to say hello?
I would like to say hello. In fact, I'd love to. Hello, Callum. Hello, Harry.
Hello. How are we all doing?
And there's Harry, aka Clegg, which
Hello.
is what we're going to call him throughout this entire thing.
Clay, Claggers, anything like that, just don't call me Harry.
Flagrod.
Clagrod.
The Clegg.
all will be revealed in that name.
All will be revealed.
Wink, wink.
Wink, nudge, nudge.
See you in season 2.
Spoiler alert.
Right, how's everybody doing anyway? What have we been up to during the time where we can't do anything?
Well, I'll let Clay go first. He's a busy boy.
Well, seeing as after university, I then did a master's, and then during my master's, a global pandemic struck, and it kind of stopped any chance of me getting a job. So I've kind of just been playing on my Xbox the last 9 months, working out, trying to stay sane. Not really done a lot, to be quite honest.
Well, I mean, to be honest, there wasn't much chance of you getting a job before the
That's very true. With a CV of a dead ghost.
Yeah, but I did work experience back when I was like 17. Yeah. That's what I count for something. I'm just cruising, mate. I've got you work for the rest of your life, don't you? I'm only 22.
100%, bro.
Exactly, I agree, bro. Anyway, Jay, what about you, Jay?
Oh, sorry, listeners.
It's already gone to shit.
Man, have you not heard of the birthing ASMR community?
It's a big thing. I know some ASMR, but I don't know a birthday ASMR.
You know some ASMR, do you? Know some?
Yeah, man.
Right, man, I've just been non-stop grafting, you know me. I'm a serious grafter.
I'd like to mention to the listeners that me and Jay are both key workers. Jay, obviously,
you clap for me, bro.
Jay works at a supermarket chain that I'm not going to name.
Yeah, it begins with A and ends in A.
and I work in a place that sells sausage rolls.
That could be any number of places, though. Well, a lot of places sell sausage rolls.
The big one.
The big one.
So, now that we found out that we've been doing absolutely nothing but working and probably wanking.
The latter for me, definitely.
Definitely the latter for Clay.
Yeah.
I thought today we'd just have a talk about university. It's where we all met. It's where we probably had the most fun of our entire lives. Specifically, Freshers Week for me was probably the best week of my life. The best 2 weeks, I'd say, because the week after that was still Freshers, really. I thought we'd talk about how we met, which is quite funny in itself, to be honest with you. Some funny stories from Freshers, some drinking games that we discovered. Yeah, and some individual stories that we all experienced. So first, I will start with how we met. Now, I can say off the bat that I met Jay and our other former flatmate Keys, who will eventually be on this podcast, but the football's on, so he's not tonight. We met on the first night of Freshers as we were waiting outside to get on the bus. And I remember Keys saying he's from Stoke. And I have a cousin from Utoxeter also called Josh. So I just kept calling him Utoxeter for the entire night. Do you remember anything?
Just let the listeners know that one of our participants has subsequently left. So it is just me and Titley at the moment.
Oh, we man down.
We've got a man down.
Oh, right. We've just lost the person that I was talking about.
I was trying to signal to you that he'd gone.
Well, while
while we wait for him to come back.
Take this opportunity to explain why our flatmate Josh is called Keys, shall we?
Right. It's a weird. See, people on the outside probably think he's called Keys because he's done a lot of drugs or something, or drug related.
That's
but
not
really,
the case.
But it's not the case, and really, it was just the fact he kept losing his keys in the first week of uni.
Well, I'm thinking more specifically. One night, he walks around the entire halls of the Maltings, which is where obviously we went to university in first year where we lived. He searched around the entire place looking for his keys, and the whole time they're on his kitchen table.
Oh, Jay's returned.
I'll
But-
let him back in.
I've just bollocked my mum for using Wi-Fi, so
His Netto connection back again.
We were just talking about going.
We were just talking about how Keys got his nickname, mate, basically. And I was just talking about the first night of uni where me, you, and Keys all met each other. Do you remember anything from that night, really?
I remember asserting someone's bottom, but other than that, no.
Is that certain someone you?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, I remember because obviously the first night was in the main SU, the city SU at Nottingham Trent University. I should have probably said what university, shouldn't I? Nottingham Trent we all went to. And I pretty much don't remember anything apart from queuing for about an hour for a drink and ending the night lying in the middle of the road outside of the gates of our halls and being escorted to my room by two random girls.
They weren't random anymore. Wing, wing.
Well, the thing is, that sounds suspect, but in reality, what happened was they put me to bed and then left.
Which girls were they? I mean, you can't send the podcast.
I don't know.
They're just random.
I genuinely don't know.
They went Maltons though, didn't they?
They must have.
Oh, the freshers reps. Were the reps?
Oh, they might have been freshers reps.
They might have been freshers reps, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because I mean, I was literally asleep on the road.
My first night, I genuinely can't remember my first night at all.
That's not a surprise.
Which was the night when you all came to my flat for freeze. That was one night.
That wasn't the first night.
It was not first night, but it was in the first
that
week.
Was Trent Army.
That was Trent Army, wasn't it, when you all came around?
Because I got that selfie with Sean and some others.
Was it Chappers?
Well, it's at Chappers, yeah.
Yeah, it was Chappers. Chappers, who's a very nice young man.
It's quite funny because I was confused about names at the start and I kept calling Callum Chappers, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'm still upset. But yeah, that was the first night of uni. I woke up with an incredible hangover, one that I've never experienced in my entire life. And then the second night, I believe, was Clifton SU, which was probably the best night of freshers, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I enjoy Clifton.
And we had to get there proper early because obviously they had to get everybody in and out because there's so many freshers. So we had to get there 7:30 on the buses.
Yeah,
because they don't know, but we lived in Leacombe Maltings, which was 20 minutes away from the city centre.
And then that was ages away from
Clifton was 40 minutes away from the city centre. So we was on that bus, I reckon, for a good 50 minutes because the bus driver put his foot down. Because there was some horny teenagers at the back.
We were drinking on the bus as well, and we had some interesting chants on the bus, didn't we?
We did have some interesting chants.
Can we name any chants or not?
We can name some of the chants.
We had the SpongeBob one.
Oh,
SpongeBob.
We had Daddy's Wallet.
Daddy's Wallet.
Daddy's Wallet. Polly.
Polly done it.
Done a see you next Tuesday.
Yeah. Foreskin one.
Yeah, foreskin. Foreskin. Yeah.
And then the cheeky Maltings.
Cheeky Maltings.
Yeah, we had all.
So we should probably talk more about that bus and how much of an actual shitstorm it was, to be honest. I genuinely feel sorry for the drivers.
Lad, the Yeah, the driver was just.
Was
Did we actually have a driver, or was it not a sober freshers rep?
No,
it was a driver. It was definitely a driver.
Was it definitely?
There wasn't such a thing as a sober freshers.
So basically, we got given these wristbands that were either gold or silver, and that depended like what bus you went on and what time like entry you got on that. And I got. Do we all get? I got gold.
Keys has a silver one and painted it gold.
Keys had a silver one and got painted gold and got away with it, which is hilarious.
He highlighted it, didn't he?
Yeah. Did you all have gold?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they come and pick us up from, because we live so far out of city centre, they come and pick us up and take us to where we needed to be. But it's like 50 or 60 drunk, horny teenagers.
Why do you have to put horny in there?
Because it's true. All right.
It's true, lad. We were freshers, all right.
Chanting God knows what. Honestly, to be fair, the drivers probably enjoyed it, some of them. They were lads.
He's probably laughing. We're probably famous on like YouTube somewhere.
Yeah. Well, he's got a secret video of us all.
Yeah.
My one skin was over my two skin.
The thing about our accommodation as well was it wasn't like one of these upmarket, ensuite.
It was a slum. It was a slum.
It was a slum. Basically, in our accommodation, we had to all share bathrooms and showers and that, and we had sinks in our rooms. And I can only let you imagine what went on in that sink. It got bodily fluids from both ends.
The toilet was the worst. Our toilet. I absolutely demolished our toilet.
It was a glorified shanty town, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
It was in this place called Batesford, which in Nottingham is not one of the nicest places. I think wasn't there one time we all got told to stay indoors because there were some dodgy people outside or something? I swear there's one time I swear one of the wardens told us to stay in because there was some dodgy people.
Lad, that warden's definitely just gone to another warden. Oh, what's this? What should mug this kid off here? Stay indoors, don't come out.
The dodgy people probably lived in the maltings.
It's probably people. Probably what's his? I can't name. But that guy in my flat who was an interesting guy. He had a drink problem.
Why are you laughing at drink problem?
I'm not. It's just the fact that we come back one night and it's absolutely screaming at the top of his voice. We had to get the pressure to calm him down. You two know what I mean, don't you? He also had a bit of a crush on me as well.
Yeah.
Who didn't, bro?
So true, mate.
I know some girls that didn't.
Yeah, definitely, mate. Nice one. We'll get on to that.
Stay tuned for season 3.
Anyway, carry on.
An SU beach night. We got there at about 4:00. No, that's an exaggeration. We got there about 7:30. Spent the first hour and a half kicking a beach ball at people. just
Lad, I was like,
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even remember that night. I think I was too pissed. I generally don't remember the night at all.
All right, we get it. You were pissed all the time. Such a bad man, all right.
Bro, it wasn't that.
Trying to come across.
I remember going in the photo booth and getting my picture printed on a Red Bull.
Oh, lad, yes, the Red Bull Cup picture.
I lost mine.
Lad, my mum still got it.
Mate, I paid like £4 for it and I lost it instantly.
I know. Lad, I think it was like a £5. I cherished it more than like.
Your phone.
Yeah, 100%.
More than your degree.
Yeah. Well, that went out the window when I as soon as I walked in.
Right. I think we should talk about some of the fun drinking games that we encountered. Because basically, when I was in sixth form, the only drinking games we really did was like Ring of Fire, basically.
Yeah, classic,
and it was turned up to another level in freshers and just in uni in general. But I remember
it's like hardcore mode.
Hardcore. Yeah.
I remember a drinking game specifically where someone who smoked had a cigarette packet and if you flipped it and it landed on its side, 2 drinks were added onto the queue, and whoever fucked it up had to probably drink.
Yeah, I remember.
Times. That game ruined my life.
I think I think that was one night when I wasn't there. I don't know. I don't
Oh.
think I participated in that night. I know about it, but I don't think I ever did.
Yeah, I remember that because it was like the best night we had.
It probably was, actually.
This is all these good nights out you had before you met me.
Censored.
That was the night where I walked into Pom Pom.
Yeah,
and walked straight
100%.
back out
What?
That's how you did walk to, Lee.
I walked into Pom Pom and then walked straight back out again.
Oh yeah.
That was I got peer pressured into drinking a bottle of vodka.
To be fair, there was many times I wish I did that.
Every time we went.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Like when I went last year, before like Rona struck, when doing masters, me and Keys went a few times. It actually got a bit better. Because they changed where the DJ was.
Yeah.
You know, the booth used to be in that little hut at the side.
Yeah.
The DJ booth to like the back end. I mean, it's still pretty bad, but it was better than it was. Do you remember that night in Freshers when I drank all that vodka orange and threw up on the floor?
That was boxing. That was charity boxing.
I was boxing, and I was the only one to get drunk.
I was poor.
That was season 2.
That was season. Well, yeah, season 2. Sorry, spoiler alert again. Probably. We still have Freshers at the moment.
I had minus
Clearly.
£497 in my account at that point.
Bloody hell. What other drinking games did we have? We had obviously Ring of Fire.
Ring
of
Sat
Fire,
on a spinny
Siggy.
chair,
Oh my god.
and you had to neck a tinny while someone was just
Yeah,
absolutely thrashing you
Literally
about.
slithering you around.
And
Piccolo.
that wasn't until after.
I know that was second year. Probably.
Yeah, season 2. Spoiler.
Well, I can't.
Season two,
Obviously, we were me and Tilly were talking about when you were going to that bowl of shame and bowl of pride. Do you remember that, Jay?
Bowl of shame, Jesus.
We had
Did I
these-
go on I went on the buzz with it, didn't I?
Yeah, we were saying like just some random. One of my flatmates had this bowl, and we nicked it. Just in Nottingham City Centre somewhere. He literally took it on the bus and just left it on the floor.
I'm such a wild child.
It was
going
like
out with a cylinder on my head.
I wonder what the bus driver thought. What are you doing?
Bowl of shame.
Bowl of shame.
It was and I think we took a colander as well, because it was like colander shape as well.
Bowl of
I
pride.
definitely remember a colander.
I think
Bowl of pride, that was it.
But why did we do it? Was it like if we like someone lost the drinking game? Did you acquire the bowl? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know, mate.
Like, what was the purpose of the bowl?
There wasn't one.
It's
Such
Jay
a
Frozen
wild
view.
child. I didn't plan on sipping pasta.
All I heard then was pasta.
No, you said you didn't plan on sieving pasta.
Oh right, oh for the bar. Okay, fine. You're back now. Okay, so yeah.
Obviously, a drinking game in Freshers was Never Have I Ever, which is the worst drinking game in the history of life.
It's just a classic drinking game when you're meeting new people, finding out who's
Yeah.
shagged who and who's done what weird.
What's
Ice
it
break,
was
isn't
Trent,
it?
so everyone shagged everyone.
Multiple times.
Never have ever done anal. Everyone starts down in their drink.
Yeah, if you're the one that hasn't done it, you're the odd one out.
You've not done it.
Virgin. Virgin.
You not done anal?
And then obviously, like with the drinking games, obviously Ring of Fire, you had the Up in the Middle, which was at uni, obviously filled with a lot more shit than just booze. Had weird shit in there as well.
It's funny that you say that, because my next story I was going to bring up is the night I met one of our other flatmates, Sean Weisel, who probably won't be taking part in this podcast. And it involved Ring of Fire, and it's the first time I had ever met him. We were around I don't even know whose Febreze. All I remember is that this Spanish girl was there, and her mum was round cooking everyone food, which was weird. I have no idea what was going on. Sean comes in with a bottle of raki, which if you don't know, if anyone is listening, to be honest, but if anyone's listening and doesn't know what raki is, it is liquid death, basically. It's Greek, it's horrible. That could be taken out of context.
I was going to say it's Greek and it's horrible.
It's Greek and it's horrible.
Oh, there's a ringtone for you.
It's Greek. But he rocks up with that. He obviously gets every single king in Ring of Fire, pours half his bottle of raki into the king's cup. No one can even smell it, never mind drink it. And then he picks up and downs it.
Is this Sean? Yeah.
This is Sean, yeah.
I mean, obviously in season whatever it will be, when we have an episode about our lad's holiday to Zante, there were many times in that when certain Greek drinks got certain people drunk, such as Ouzo and on that night when you pre-Ouzo. One night when I might have got one night when I got a certain body part out in a nightclub, but all will be revealed later on.
Sorry, Jay. Did he say a word beginning with O? I didn't understand it.
No, honestly.
A word.
Do you mean?
All I heard was body part.
A word beginning with O.
Yeah, a word beginning with O. What's wrong with that?
I've repressed it deep in my mind.
Oh, you mean oh, okay. I thought you were taking the mic. Right, okay.
I was.
Brilliant.
Jeez.
Okay, anyway, we'll stick to 30 for now. We'll let the people, wait and see what finds out.
So we've done first night, second night, third night. Was that Trent Army?
Yes.
Trent Army.
Was that Trent Army at Pom Pom?
Yeah.
So you all came round to mine for prees that night. So I think, was that the first time I met you all then?
I reckon we talked, but I don't reckon.
I remember Sean, because obviously Sean is quite a tall guy and he's like spitting image of Minimin to the YouTuber, like complete spitting image. Like I was absolutely pissed the first time I met him, and I was convinced it was Minimin, quite fully convinced. And so I met him, and I think Titley knew one of my flatmates, and then Titley was mates with Jay and Keys, because Jay and Keys lived together. It's like just a weird way of how we all met. Anyway, so they came mine Trent Army night. I remember Trent Army there looked quite a lot of people around at my flat, and quite a big drinking game going on.
I don't remember.
Yeah, everyone was on your flat at some point that night.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't remember anything about Trent Army.
I just remember the prees. I remember the like Pom Pom from videos, but I don't remember that much from it.
All I remember was that I was in Pom Pom. That's it.
But do you stay at Pom Pom this time, or did you walk straight and walk out?
Yeah. I stayed in Pom Pom, yeah, and I actually ended up meeting my course mates, obviously, before we started uni properly, and I met them in there.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Ooh, course mate friends.
Well, yeah, I met them in there. For some reason, I was really annoyed about something.
Probably Sean done something.
You could probably figure it out. Yeah, Sean.
Sean started on me. Oh dear. We did what other night was it? We did UV party. That's the night I walked.
The problem is quite a lot of these nights, like in the later in the week, I didn't go. I went to because for some reason one of my flatmates, who I didn't really end up being mates with, he had a mate in Byron, which is one of the posh student accommodations, and we went on their night. So I ended up on some of the nights going to different nights out for some reason. I know it's awful, isn't it? Not going to
Maltings forever.
Yeah, well, if I'd only met you then.
Wannabe posh boy.
To be honest, mate, I didn't experience anything on UV party because I walked in and out of Pom Pom. I paid entry, walked in, and walked straight back out again. I ended up walking around Nottingham the entire night. I met someone from met someone from uni who was looking after me. He was saved in my phone as like some random name. I'll try and find it. It's stupid. It's the only thing I can remember from the entire night. I was messaging people who I was with asking what happened, and they were like, "You just walked off." My life's just a mess. That was UV party.
Did we go to SU twice? In the SU in City?
We did go to the SU twice, actually.
Yeah, I remember it the second time.
Yeah, we did.
The first one, yeah. So I remember going upstairs because upstairs was like the R&B.
Now the memories are getting even less.
Yeah, as we get older and older and older.
Oh, I think I did.
No, I meant like the first of the week we got. The less you remember.
So when are we going to talk about Prism Kebab Chunda night then, Clegg?
So Prism Kebab Chunda night. That wasn't fresh as such, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Basically, what ended up happening was, so my flat were not like my kind of people. There's a girl in there who I got along with and Titley knew, but we weren't like basic pals, and the rest of them I didn't really talk to because I'm crap flatmate to get along with. So what ended up happening was I was lucky enough to meet Sean and Titley, and I remember it now. I met one of my course mates, and I went to the pub, and he's had like an exam or something he was revising for.
Classic.
And one of you guys put it in like we had like a group chat of people in the Malting saying there's a spare ticket for Prism going. And I said, oh yeah, I'll take it then. And that's when I came. So if I'd never taken that, because I think that Prism night was like one night when I bonded with you lads, like properly,
Yeah,
like,
100%.
all of us together. If I had not come that night, I don't know, like if we'd be. I mean, we probably would have been, but like it kind of like my first memory of us all being together. So I remember going to Prees. It was Keys was doing work. It was me, Jay, Titley, Sean, and I think Robbie Bell was there. Can I say his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. So someone that we were friends with for the first duration of our time at university. He was there, and so obviously first time all was proper after freshers week. We still wanted to carry on the session. We all got quite drunk, went out, and I was that drunk that I ended up having. I'm not like Titley, bless him. He's not got a lot of money, and I kept like going to him on the night out. Can you keep buying me drinks? Can you keep buying me drinks? Because I was so pissed I couldn't do it. Do you remember that, Titley?
I could never forget it.
And I kept going to him all like, go get me a Jaeger bomb. Every time I get a Jaeger bomb, I also got obsessed with him for some reason.
So I just want to make a couple of points. First of all, just for context, Keith was revising for an exam in the third week of uni. That is a precursor for everything else, I'd say. Also, when you were piking drinks off me the entire night, every time you said Jaeger bomb to me,
he twitched.
Every time you said Jaeger bomb to me, it started sounding less like Jaeger bomb. In the end, I literally think you were just going, yeah. It's the fact you literally tap me on the shoulder and just go, yeah.
And then you'd go and get me one as well, but you wouldn't even say no. And it took context as well. It took me a while to pay him back. I did actually pay him back in the end, but it took a few months for me to pay him back.
That was my hard-earned money from Sports Direct.
I know. And if people don't know, Prison was one of our places that we ended up going quite a lot. Like pretty much every Tuesday, we went for like a lot.
Every Tuesday, lad.
There was this thing we called Cheese Floor, which was like cheesy hits from the 90s and 2000s. So it's the bottom floor, deep drinks, good tunes. Anyway, I took it to the next level that night. I got very drunk. First time with all these lads. Obviously, we're all getting on well. Could tell that we're going to be mates, kind of thing. Like we're all vibing. And basically,
just thrown up in my mouth.
There was this kebab shop next to Prison. We call Prison Kebabs. We won't call it.
Self-explanatory, really.
I don't know what the actual kebab shop name was. Anyway, so we went there, and he's like, you get anything. You got fish and chips there. You could get fucking battered sausages, fish cakes. You get kebabs. It was great. Anyway, like we're all just sitting down munching on our food, and I can't really remember it. I remember being explored out the toilet. But I went to the toilet, and I think from what Sean's told me, Sean said like he asked one of you guys like where I was. Like he was going like, did anyone see Clay for a bit? I'm like, no, we thought he'd gone or whatever. And there's me literally sprawled out on the floor in this toilet, thrown up absolutely everywhere in this toilet, passed out. He picks me up and like gets me out, and he says to the guy who owns the kebab shop, he's like, I won't go in there for a bit, mate. And then like we just like ran out, like the sick was everything was covered in sick. I was alright, mate. And we got in the taxi and got home somehow. I can't remember much of it.
Surprised he didn't just get up and tap me on the shoulder again and go, yeah.
Speaking of tapping on the shoulder, I had a habit in that first term of like tapping random guys on people's shoulders. Do you remember that? I'd like tap on the opposite shoulder.
And the award for started on the most at Nottingham Trent goes to Harry Clegg.
I've learned from the past. I had a habit in first year. There's another time when I in Rock City. It was still first year, wasn't it? When I fell asleep in Rock City toilets.
I can't remember.
I was going to do its own individual episode for Left Cubicle Help.
All right, okay, yeah. Well, we'll leave that. It just there's an old story, and the title will be Left.
Easy for you.
The title of the podcast will be Left Cubicle Help.
Okay, that's a good idea. We'll leave the listeners waiting and wondering. But I think that's pretty self-explanatory as well. But it's quite a funny night, that is. Anyway, yeah. So that was Prism takeaway. Me chundering mainly.
Can't beat it.
Can't beat it. Prism kebab.
I want one
No
right
idea,
now.
no
I want
idea.
a batter sausage, mate.
No idea what it's actually called. We had a lot of good times in there.
A
Many
lot of
good
times that I
times.
can't remember, to be
Many
quite honest with you.
times.
Yeah,
Many
that's what
times,
make
yeah.
them good times.
Every,
That doesn't
every
surprise
single
me.
Tuesday, literally, I'm not looking at like for about 30 weeks straight. We didn't miss a single Prison Tuesday, I don't think.
Yeah, we went.
Nah.
It's the fact that we also went on Fridays and
It's
sometimes
the
Mondays.
Roxy Thursdays and
Ocean.
Yeah.
We didn't really do Ocean first year.
we
did we?
only did Ocean a
No.
couple of times. Yeah.
Speaking of Ocean, that was another freshest night, but it wasn't great really.
See, I didn't go to that one. I
It
didn't
wasn't
go to
great.
that one. Won it.
We didn't do the bar crawl, so
No, it was just me and Keys and 2 girls.
2 girls.
too gory.
No, because one of them was Singy's mate. What? Dom's mate,
Oh,
and then
right, okay.
like I'm sure Keys had a crush on one of them or something. But we ended up spending the night. It was something ridiculous, like me, Dom, Keys, Chappers, and these two girls, and like, you know, the Chappers is the man. He was just trying to graft them all night.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, lads. Like, I generally, this is just like off the meeting, but I can't wait until we can all meet up and just.
Oh no, I'm gonna start
Not
recording.
thing. Stop recording.
Let me just do an outro. Thank you for listening. If anyone was actually listening to the First Time Killers podcast, it's been an absolute pleasure, and hopefully we'll see you again if there's anyone actually there.
Goodbye.